diabetes relation, like insulin resistance, and what in the world, like if I change my diet, I can prevent this disease. You know, it's very, very shocking that Brazil doesn't know that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to translate what I just said, because
Okay.
I can see that nobody is actually translating.
Okay.
Gente, eu tô falando para ela o seguinte, que por mais impressionante que pareça para ela, porque, né, as pessoas estão sempre, ela tá num meio onde todo mundo escuta a relação sobre Alzheimer e diabetes, que no Brasil isso quase não é falado, né? Então até a gente falou hoje que ela vai falar para um público que nunca ouviu, alguns já ouviram falar, mas muitos nunca ouviram falar sobre isso. So Amy, you can introduce yourself to a lot of people that don't know you, please.
I'll try to keep it short. Are you going to translate after? So
yeah, let's do sentence by sentence,
okay.
like paragraphs. And so, you know, those sermons in church that they translate, okay. You know, let's do like this. Right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a nutritionist and I specialize in low carb and ketogenic diets.
Ela é uma nutricionista especializada em dieta cetogênica e low carb.
And I got interested in this way of eating from my own history. I used to be much heavier than I am now.
Ela se interessou por isso porque ela também tinha sobrepeso. Então ela não era nutricionista antes, ela se tornou por causa da maneira que ela comia antes, que levou ao sobrepeso.
Right. And over the years that I've studied and researched and learned about this way of eating, I now believe, you know, it's so effective for so many different things that weight loss is only a tiny, tiny piece of everything that this diet can do for somebody.
Então, o que ela tá falando é uma coisa que muitas pessoas aqui da low carb comentam, né? Que o perder peso é apenas uma parte muito pequena, né? De todos os benefícios que uma dieta em baixo carboidrato e cetogênica consegue. Pessoal, eu acho que é melhor vocês não traduzirem na legenda, toda a equipe que tá aí, tá? Que vai ficar muito legal assim, desse jeito que a gente tá fazendo. Amy, I'm just telling my translators, my interpreters, that we're gonna do this way, because it's gonna work. I think it's gonna be nice.
Okay.
Is it okay for you?
Yeah, I'll try to keep things kind of short and simple.
Okay, all right, thank you. You're amazing, I love you. Okay.
I wish I spoke, you know, I speak Spanish, but I don't speak any Portuguese. So.
No, don't worry. Don't worry. It's a privilege, like to have you here. It's just so wonderful. Don't worry. Just keep going.
So yeah, what else should I say?
You stopped and okay. Let me ask you to tell something that I heard already from you. You were not a nutritionist. You were overweight, right? And you found out about low carbohydrate diet and keto, right? And then you lost weight and you gained health and life and a different perspective. And then you went to school to study, went back to university, right?
Yeah, I changed careers. So I was not...
You working in the Pentagon, right?
Yeah, I didn't study this in university. In graduate school I did, but not in university.
Okay, let me translate myself to them. Eu tô pedindo para ela falar que ela mudou de carreira, gente. Ela trabalhava no Pentágono. É uma coisa completamente diferente. E aí, porque ela passou pelo processo de emagrecimento, ela foi fazer nutrição. Muita gente que tá aqui tá passando pela mesma coisa. Amy, can you believe? There are a lot of people here that are actually studying nutrition. How do I say this in English? The nutrition school. How do you say in English?
Yeah, nutrition school.
Nutrition school. After going to the weight loss process, the same thing as you did.
It's very common. That's how
very common.
Many professional nutritionists and dietitians get into this profession because of their own personal story.
Uhum.
Yeah.
Ela tá falando que, assim, é muito comum lá também nos Estados Unidos as pessoas acabarem fazendo nutrição porque elas passaram pelo processo. Então, vocês aqui, a Sayonara, que tá fazendo nutrição, o Henrique tá fazendo nutrição, tem muita gente aqui fazendo nutrição. I'm just mentioning my friends that are studying nutrition. Yeah, so then you change careers. You graduate in college and you left the Pentagon. That was how it worked.
Yeah, I didn't really become a nutritionist until I was in my 30s. I went back to get a master's degree when I was about 30.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, you know, most of my income comes from writing in the nutrition field. I write a lot about low carb and keto. I do see clients, but most of my income is writing for blogs and, you know, all kinds of different websites and things like that. And books. I mean, I have 3 books now, so.
Oh, that's good. You recently wrote a book with Dr. Eric Westman, right?
Right. I don't know. It's coming out in the US in December. I don't know when it'll be out in Portugal. Or not, sorry, Brazil.
Brazil. Ok. Ela tá comentando aqui com a gente que a receita dela, como ela ganha a vida, é mais pelos trabalhos escritos que ela faz. Ela escreve para blogs, para vários, né? E a receita dela vem disso. E também das palestras. You do a lot of workshops, right?
Yeah, conferences. Of course, this year everything was canceled, but normally I travel a lot to speak at conferences.
I'm gonna try to put the image of your book here.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
I have only the Kindle version, you know, the electronic version. But my husband told me he's going to buy me for my birthday the hardcover one.
Okay.
Yeah! Eu tô falando pra ela que eu tenho só a versão do livro dela, só do Kindle, né, eletrônica. Mas meu marido disse que vai me dar de aniversário o impresso. Yay! I'm gonna have the print copy.
1 minute, I want to show something.
Yes, please.
If there's people watching that don't speak English, but I know a lot of people that speak Portuguese speak Spanish. My book is in Spanish. They have a Spanish version.
Oh, you have a Spanish version. All right.
I'm not
That's
sure if
really
you order
good.
it in Brazil, but it's because if anyone speaks Spanish, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if the translation is any good. I haven't read it.
Yes, it's perfect. We Brazilian, we understand Spanish.
Okay.
Spanish speakers, they don't understand Portuguese
Right.
at all. But we do understand them. It's not because we went to school for that. It's just because it makes sense to us. But it doesn't make sense Portuguese to them.
Yeah.
Ela tá falando pra gente que ela tem o livro na versão em espanhol, que pra gente é muito fácil de entender, né, minha gente? Então eu vou procurar lá no Amazon se tem, ou no Kindle, se tem a versão em espanhol pra gente adquirir, para quem quiser adquirir aí. Realmente é um livro fantástico. I'm telling them that it's really a life-changing book.
Oh, thank you.
It's, for me, it's like when I have, because I'm not, you know, I didn't go to school for that. I went to law school. and now I'm a coach and a life coach and I do things totally like different. So I'm not a health coach. I'm a life coach, you know. So I know because of my experience in my life, so I share what I know with people.
Yeah.
But why your book is very, very precious to me, it's when I want to convince my family, for example. I have my grandmother, she has Alzheimer, you know, and for 5 years already. And I tried to convince my dad and my uncles, you know, to change her diet, and she eats lots of sugar. And, you know, so now my dad is already, you know, believing me. He's trying to convince his brother, the one who takes care of my grandmother, you know. So your book is precious. Gente, adquiram o livro dela, porque realmente, quem puder, é um argumento que você tem com a sua família. I'm sorry, Amy, I'm just translating. É realmente legal. Assim, eu tenho a minha avó, contei aqui pra ela, que a minha avó tem Alzheimer. E o livro dela faz diferença para mim porque eu consigo explicar para os meus familiares dentro do que é científico ali, né? Para quem não é da área. Amy, there are a lot of questions, you know, and a lot of questions here. We probably are not going to have time for everything. So what I want to ask you is to explain to whoever is watching here, in your own words, the relation to sugar, high carbohydrate lifestyle, like lots of sugar during your whole life, and how did this end up in Alzheimer? Can you tell us?
So they now regularly call Alzheimer's disease type 3 diabetes or diabetes of the brain.
Ok, just a moment. Agora, o pessoal chama, né, o Alzheimer de diabetes tipo 3 ou o diabetes do cérebro. Go on.
So there's many different things that can cause dementia or cognitive decline. We're looking at the blood sugar and insulin is just one aspect of the many things that can affect the brain.
Ok. Ela está dizendo que existem várias coisas que podem causar demência, né? Só que a resistência à insulina é uma das coisas que tem sido comprovado que tem uma relação. Ok.
So there's two big things we have to mention. The first is that type 2 diabetes or metabolic syndrome, even if your blood sugar is normal and you don't have diabetes, chronically high insulin, which goes along with metabolic syndrome, is a major risk factor for Alzheimer's.
Então, isso é uma coisa que ela coloca que é muito importante, que ainda que você não tenha diabetes tipo 2, se você tiver alta de insulina, isso é um risco muito alto de você desenvolver o Alzheimer. Isso tem sido evidente. Ok.
And then the second thing is that, you know, chronically high blood sugar and insulin, or you know, one or the other or both, they negatively affect almost every part of the body, right? The eyes, the kidneys, the blood vessels, everything. Why do we think that the brain is immune to this? It affects the brain just like it affects the whole rest of the body.
Ok. Gente, eu falei sobre isso aqui semana passada. I spoke to them about this last week a lot.
Good.
Ela tá falando o seguinte: alta de glicose constante no seu sangue, tá? E a resistência à insulina, mas, enfim, ainda que você não tenha resistência à insulina, mas a alta de glicose no seu sangue constantemente, ela afeta os seus olhos, ela afeta o seu corpo todo. Por que que não vai afetar o seu cérebro? Assim, da onde que a gente tira isso? I tweeted last week about this.
Oh, good. Okay.
Okay.
So this might be the first time some people are hearing this, but the major problem in the brain of somebody with Alzheimer's is that the cells are not metabolizing glucose properly, and so they're not getting any fuel, they're not getting any energy. It's a fuel shortage in the brain.
Gente, isso ela falou muito lá no Evento Alimente. I remember you speaking about this on Evento Alimente. I'm going to translate to them. Uma coisa que ela falou que talvez muitas pessoas nunca ouviram falar disso é que a pessoa que está com Alzheimer, ela não metaboliza o açúcar direito. Então, falta combustível nas células cerebrais e elas morrem. Né? Isso é o que acontece, porque não metaboliza o açúcar, a glicose. Ok, go ahead.
I'm not sure. Are there specific questions?
Yes, there's one question here that I want to read. Please explain to us the enzymes that clean amyloid gets busy cleaning insulin on brain.
That's an advanced question.
Yeah, she's a health coach, Noakes Foundation.
Okay.
She's very well known in Brazil.
Good.
It's Fernanda Anders.
Okay.
She's an icon in low carb field. She lives in Portugal, but she's Brazilian, and she's amazing, and she loves you.
So I mentioned that chronically high insulin is a major risk factor for Alzheimer's. And there's a lot of different reasons for that. But something really interesting is that these plaques that build up in the brain, they're not a cause of Alzheimer's. It's a little complicated. They're not a cause of Alzheimer's, but they can make it worse. They are a factor. The enzyme that clears away those proteins and plaques is the same enzyme that clears away insulin. And so they compete for insulin or for this enzyme. And insulin usually wins. So when this enzyme is busy dealing with all the insulin, those proteins are left to stay and build up in the brain.
Okay, so this is amyloid.
Right.
Ok. Então, esses amiloides que a Fê Anders perguntou, se eles ficam competindo, né, para processar a glicose ou defender o cérebro, ela falou que é realmente isso que acontece, né? E porque é o mesmo sistema de defesa ali. E como ele fica realmente ocupado, como a Fê falou aqui, Fê, depois se você quiser postar em português, tá? A explicação fica bem legal aqui. Mas é exatamente isso que a Fê perguntou. Ok. There is another question, Amy, that it's in Portuguese, and I'm going to translate here. Hora do alimento.
Can I just specify, going back to that last question,
sure.
If people are new to this, so they really understand.
Okay.
The problem with that enzyme that breaks down insulin and the amyloid, if you have chronically high insulin, then that enzyme is never really going to have an opportunity to clear the amyloid. It's going to be so busy with the insulin all the time.
Uhum. Então, ela está falando o seguinte, que deu branco aqui. I black out, like I completely forgot what you. Okay, it happens to me, like in the events too, but okay, I'll try to remember. Ela disse que esses amiloides, eles nunca conseguem chegar a fazer o papel deles porque eles ficam muito ocupados tentando processar a questão da insulina, e aí é que dá o problema. Ok, I think I got it.
Okay.
Yes, so we have several questions here in my computer that people sent me, but let me read here. My grandmother had Alzheimer and Parkinson. She died at the age of 61 years old. More than 27 years ago. And then she says, my uncle, her grandmother's brother, died because of Alzheimer too. So then she said, it's a comment. It's not a question. Mm-hmm. For this reason, my health and my family's health, I study a lot and I follow low carb lifestyle, because if there is any genetic possibility, I don't want to take the risk,
right?
And I don't want to die. I want to live. It's a comment, and it's a very beautiful comment.
Well, we can address the genetic factor. I mean, there is a very strong genetic risk factor for Alzheimer's. It's called ApoE4, the gene.
Okay, ela diz que existe um fator genético que é identificado. Is there an exam for that, Amy?
Yeah, you can just get your blood tested for the gene.
How is it called again?
ApoE4.
ApoE4. The nutritionist here, my friends, ApoG4. Please try to get the Portuguese version for me. Ok. Tô pedindo, I'm just asking my friends, ok? Mas em linhas gerais, ela tá falando que existe um exame muito simples que você pode fazer que identifica o fator genético do Alzheimer. Olha que legal. Existe, viu? Okay, I explained to them.
Okay, but the thing is, this gene does not cause the disease because millions of people have the gene but never get the disease, and millions of people with the disease don't have the gene. The gene increases risk, but it doesn't cause it. So like Alzheimer's does tend to run in families, but it's because families tend to have the same diet and lifestyle. It's not the gene itself causing the disease.
Então, o que ela está falando, existe esse exame, só que não é o gene que causa, porque existem muitas pessoas que têm Alzheimer, desenvolvem Alzheimer e não têm o gene. E muitas pessoas com esse gene que não desenvolvem Alzheimer. E o que é comum nas pessoas que desenvolvem Alzheimer é uma dieta de alto carboidrato, alta de glicose no sangue, é a dieta. Isso que todo mundo que desenvolve o Alzheimer tem em comum. Então, não é o gene em si, mas a dieta. Ok. Beautiful. Let me see another question here.
But can we be clear?
Sure.
We don't know for sure that a low carb diet and a certain lifestyle can prevent this. We think it can. What this is we know for certain that chronically high blood sugar and insulin massively increases risk. So to control those things should reduce risk, but it's not appropriate to say that this prevents it because we don't know yet.
Very good. And in your book, it's very clear in the very beginning, the disclaimer part, that this doesn't mean that this is your studies, right?
Right.
And I'm going to explain to them very well now. Ok. Pessoal, ela pediu para deixar muito claro que não quer dizer que a dieta low carb vai prevenir, por certo, o Alzheimer. Mas o outro lado é absolutamente verdadeiro, que a dieta ruim, a alta de insulina, a alta ingestão de carboidrato refinado, contribui para o Alzheimer. Vocês estão entendendo que é pela negativa que a gente entende o negócio? Ela não está falando, sim, com certeza, 100%. Se você fizer low carb, você não vai ter Alzheimer. Ela não está falando isso. Ela está falando que as pessoas que têm uma dieta ruim, elas correm um sério risco de desenvolver o Alzheimer. Ok. I explain in a very Brazilian way.
I can understand a little bit because I know what you're saying. So
okay.
I hear a little bit.
There are, and the more we speak, the more you're going to get familiar. We can make this huge a thing, right?
Well, you say like insulina, azúcar, some of the words are the same as in Spanish.
Yes, and they're the same as in Spanish, and there are some words from Latin that like insulin.
Yeah.
It's so you know when I say insulina, that it's insulin, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Very good. Okay, guys, you can ask questions here, and I'm going to read my questions here to Amy.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be about Alzheimer's. If it's about keto in general, that's fine too.
Ok, ela disse que as perguntas não precisam ser somente sobre a prevenção do Alzheimer, que a gente praticamente já falou. Quase tudo que tinha para falar sobre isso aqui. Vocês podem perguntar sobre a cetogênica e sobre low carb, que ela também responde. Ok, the questions I have here, actually, we already covered. We were so efficient. Congratulations to us. We covered basically everything in 30 minutes, so now we can chat.
Well, let's maybe mention two things that they should be aware of if they're interested in this. I mentioned that the blood sugar and insulin is really only one aspect here. Vitamin B12 is critical for healthy brain function, and there's a lot of older people that are deficient in B12.
Oh, olha só, gente. A vitamina B12, ela é muito importante para as funções cerebrais. E tem muitos idosos que têm deficiência da vitamina B12. And is it possible to supplement?
Oh, yeah. And you can get it tested too. It's just a blood test for your level and you can supplement.
And you can supplement.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Então, gente, é só fazer um teste de sangue, exame de sangue, e você vê se tem deficiência de vitamina B12 e pode suplementar. But my question here, my doubt, what are the food, the food that they're contain the B12?
Oh, so good question. B12 is only found in animal foods. It's not in plant foods. So it's
the carnivore people here, because I have a lot of friends here and we love
red
carnivore
meat,
diet.
shellfish, eggs, seafood, dairy products. You're not going to get it in plants. Animal food.
Guys, gente, just a second, because I'm so excited. They're gonna love this. They're gonna cherish you. You're gonna become their idol from now on. Ok, gente, seguinte. Vitamina B12 só tem no reino animal, cara. Só tem em bichinho, não tem em planta. Não dá pra ser vegano, tá? Os veganos que nos desculpem. Because, Amy, there is a war in Brazil. Vegan versus low carb people.
Yeah.
You know, it's a war on the internet.
If you are on a vegan diet, you must supplement with B12. You must.
Ela tá falando o seguinte: se você, pessoa que está ouvindo aqui, e você está na dieta vegana, você precisa suplementar B12, tá? Já fica avisado para os queridos veganos. Okay.
So the other issue is, I don't know if statin drugs that reduce cholesterol are very popular in Brazil, but in the US, there's millions of older people taking these. In some people, it can interfere with cognitive function. It causes memory loss. It causes confusion. So it's really important, if somebody has been on one of those drugs for a long time, that could be contributing. I'm not saying it outright causes it, but you need to look into that possibility.
Brasil, segura Brasil, escuta Brasil. Medicamento para baixar o colesterol, tá? Muito comum por aqui, né, pessoas? Pode causar problemas cerebrais, tá? Pode, não é totalmente comprovado, mas existe uma tese de que sim, né? Então tem mais isso. Ok. Amazing. We are so happy to hear this from you. Because what happened? It's crazy here in Brazil. I don't know if it's in US, there is this thing too. You know, vegan tribe and carnivore tribe, and they fight.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Here too.
Yeah. The thing is, I think it's very nice, the awareness movement, you know, when you get together with other people and you want to share something that is good for you, and you want to share with the world. But there is one little thing, one tiny thing that is very important, that is called respect. And this is why people lack, right?
Yes.
Let me translate myself here.
Yeah.
Eu tô explicando para ela que aqui no Brasil, e ela me disse que nos Estados Unidos é assim também. Tem essa loucurada, assim, né, das tribos dos carnívoros e os veganos, né? E um criticando o outro, aquela coisa. E aí eu falei o seguinte, eu acho bacana cada um defender o que acha que é bom e compartilhar isso com os outros. Só que tem um probleminha, falta respeito, né? Respeitar. Respeito. Se tiver respeito, tudo funciona, né? Amy, if you want to say something else, I'm going to check on my questions here, because there might be something different. No, let me change here for the other.
I will say, I don't know how it is in Brazil, but in the US, low carb and keto have become much more popular the last few years. So now at our supermarkets, at our grocery stores, you can buy zucchini noodles, cauliflower rice pre-made. You never would have seen that 5 years ago. And so this way of eating is popular enough that they sell this stuff regularly. You used to have to make it yourself. Now they sell it because it's so popular.
Então, ela está falando que nos Estados Unidos, o estilo de vida low carb e cetogênico tem se tornado tão popular que tem nos supermercados, tipo macarrãozinho de abobrinha, as coisas low carb, sabe? Já pré-cozidas, pré-preparados, assim. Here in Brazil, it's starting. There are in like São Paulo, you know, the bigger cities in Brazil, there is a lot of that. And in the smaller cities, and I encourage a lot of women that follow me here, most likely after the lockdown, that lots of people lost their jobs. I encourage them to start making little meals to sell to their neighbors and make some money out of that. And they are doing this, and it's actually very cool.
That's
very
great.
Nice. Yeah. Eu tô falando para ela que muitas pessoas no Brasil fazem as marmitinhas low carb, né? In Brazil, we call the little meals, the little packs, marmita. Let's learn a word in Portuguese. Marmita.
Marmita.
Yes. It's the little meal that we make. And they say in different parts of Brazil, they say in a different way, but I say marmita. Okay. All right. What else do we have here? Oh, a question. It's actually my question from what I heard from you in Evento Alimente. And it changed like a lot of things in my life. You said something, I don't actually know, I don't remember if it was you or Dr. Eric, but anyways, Alzheimer doesn't start when you see the symptoms. It starts way back, like 35 to 45 years old. Was that you, Amy?
Yeah, that's a really important point. Do you want to introduce that, and then I'll...
Yes.
So I'll just say,
yes.
Alzheimer's takes a long time to develop. It doesn't happen overnight. When you start showing the problem, when you start showing memory loss and all that, your brain has already been starving for that fuel for sometimes 10 or 20 years. This takes a very long time. By the time you have the symptom, it's already been happening for a long time. You just didn't know.
Gente, olha só, eu fiz uma pergunta para ela, porque eu ouvi ela falando isso no Evento Alimente, que o Alzheimer, quando a gente vê, né, a pessoa começa... tá ali com 60 anos, sei lá quantos anos, e começa a perder, começa a aparecer os sintomas, a doença já está muito avançada. E é possível a gente tomar atitudes bem antes para prevenir. Amy, now I just added something that you didn't say, and I want to tell you that I said that. And you can correct and add up and do your own speaking about that. You are very clear that it doesn't mean that a low-carb diet it's going to prevent someone to have Alzheimer. However, a bad diet most likely is going to lead you to that, right?
Right. So
okay.
Because the chronically high blood sugar and insulin are such strong risk factors for this disease, what you want to do is eat and have other lifestyle habits that keep those hormones and those levels normal. And not everybody needs keto to do that. You know, some people can eat potatoes and rice and beans, but like nobody can get away with a ton of just sugar and crap garbage, you know, but not everybody needs keto to do that, but you have to eat the type of diet and have the type of lifestyle practices that just keep the blood sugar and insulin at a healthy level.
Então, ela tá falando que você não precisa necessariamente fazer uma dieta cetogênica. Você pode, depende, né, de como que o seu organismo processa, né, a glicose. Mas você pode, de repente, você pode fazer uma low carb, onde você coma raízes, tudo, mas manter a sua taxa de açúcar no sangue baixa. Isso que é importante para prevenir, né? Amy, I'm going to add something. I'm going to tell them, if I may, that actually they don't have to know if they have the gene to change their diet. They don't have to know if already has started. A lot of people send me this question today. oh, ask her, what is the first signs of blah, blah, blah. And I said, she's not a neurologist. Right? It's not, this is not a talk to have to Amy. Amy is a nutritionist, and she makes very clear that a low carb diet, a good diet, like real food, you know, prevents from you to get sick. Isn't this what?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to use the word prevent just because we can never say for sure.
All right. But avoid.
Yeah,
can we say avoid?
Reduce
Maybe.
risk. It
Reduce
reduces
risk.
Yeah.
Ok. Ela não gosta que eu use a palavra, que a gente use a palavra prevenir, porque aí parece que é totalmente seguro, certeza 100% que vai prevenir. Então ela gosta de falar que diminui o risco. Então uma dieta boa, né? Baixo em carboidrato, ainda que tenha carboidratos bons, mas que não tenha aqueles carboidratos refinados que provoquem altas doses de glicose no seu sangue. Isso ajuda a diminuir o risco. Help to prevent risk, right? Help to, not prevent, help to lower the risk.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Because, I mean, look, if we look back at history, for hundreds of years, you know, people have been eating grains and beans and fruit and starch, and Alzheimer's is a relatively new disease.
Yes.
So this can't, you know, something has changed. It's new and it's exploded, just like type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, obesity. So why do we not even consider the possibility that Alzheimer's is a diet and lifestyle disease, just like diabetes and cardiovascular disease and all that? You know, because I would never say that carbohydrate foods cause Alzheimer's. Throughout history, humans have always eaten starch and fruit, and this is a new disease. So it's like a combination of the way the modern foods are made, I think, and you know what I mean? Like that's
Yes. We when I say we, I mean the low carb keto diet community in Brazil. We speak a lot about this. So let me just give them a little interpretation here.
Yeah.
Então, gente, o que ela tá falando é o seguinte: arroz, feijão, né? Carboidrato em si não é o que causa Alzheimer. Alzheimer é uma coisa que tem explodido nos últimos anos. Então, o que a gente tem que se questionar é o que mudou. O que é que tem diferente dos nossos tataravós, nossos antepassados aí? Nem precisa ir lá para paleo, mas assim, 100, 50 anos atrás, que acabou mudando e levando as pessoas a terem Alzheimer, né? Não é exatamente o carboidrato da comida, do arroz, do feijão. Mas esse tanto de açúcar, essa oferta, né, de farinhas, de refinados e uma combinação de alimentos, ela falou sobre isso, uma combinação de alimentos que provoca uma explosão de consumo e alta de açúcar no sangue. Amy, we had a doctor here on a live with us on Friday, and he mentioned this. It's not, of course, it's not the rice, the beans, the potato, the corn that cause that. And he mentions that there is no place in nature that you can find sugar and fat together, but the factories, they made a magic formula, right?
Yeah.
To seduce us and to make us addicted and eating like sugar.
That I totally agree, and I think it's the combination, but it's also the modern food supply is very low in omega-3 fats, which are really important for the brain. And, you know, we don't sleep enough. There's other things, but I do think it's the combination of the sugar, the fat, and the really highly refined processed carbohydrates.
Yeah, they're mentioning here produtos alimentícios refinados, refined carbohydrate.
Yeah.
Fernanda, she asked about the
but
acids.
I would also say if they want to, sorry, I just lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
Just even though we would say that those whole carbohydrate foods like potatoes and beans and corn, they don't cause this disease. If you already have the disease, you need a strict approach to have it. Then you really need to just avoid them in order to get better. So if you
This is
don't have a
perfect.
sickness, you don't need the same approach that you need to reverse the sickness. You know what I mean? That's
Yes,
yeah.
yes, and I am one example of that. I have insulin resistance, and I can't do carbohydrate, even the good ones. I
Right.
have to keep myself on keto diet if I
Yeah.
want to preserve my brain, if I want to, see my children growing up, having kids and blah, blah, blah. So let me tell them this that you just said.
Yeah.
Gente, o que ela falou aqui é uma coisa que o Dr. Souto fala muito. Todo mundo aqui na comunidade low carb fala demais. Não, os carboidratos bons, como as raízes, como o arroz, o feijão, não levaram você a ficar doente, né? Mas se você já está doente, se você já tem resistência à insulina, se você já tá diabético tipo 2, se você tá com problemas de saúde já derivados dessa alta constante de glicose no seu sangue, aí você tem que ter uma estratégia alimentar com mais baixo carboidrato ainda do que uma pessoa que não tenha já esses problemas. Se você já está com problema de resistência à insulina e diabetes, você tem que restringir sim o arroz, feijão, batata, né? Aí é outra história. Então não dá pra gente assim ficar nesse joguinho, né, de não, mas é comida de verdade, vou comer. Tá, mas você tem resistência à insulina? Aí você quer arriscar, você quer pagar para ver? I just added a little joke and question here. I was just telling them that because some people play this game on the internet.
Yeah.
Oh no, you said real food, so rice and beans is real food, corn is real food, and blah blah blah. So I can, it's okay. And we go like, okay, but if you have already insulin resistance, your belly is already in because the doctor that came here, he said that one of the signs of the insulin resistance is the circumference, right? The abdomen. And okay, so I told them right now in Portuguese, if you have already, you are sick, you're becoming sick. So if you don't stop and you use a different approach, like less carbohydrate, even the good ones, the risk, the chances to develop Alzheimer, for example, exist, right? Yeah. And do you want to take the risk? This is the question. This is what I'm always telling them here. Do you want to take the chance, the risk? Do you want to, it's crazy.
Right. And I would say too, though, in the low carb and keto community, we get very extreme as well. And it's not good. I think it's okay to have these, even sugar once in a while. Yeah, none of us became sick or diabetic or obese because of the occasional piece of pie or the occasional piece of cake, but at least in the US, we eat that stuff all day, every day. That's the problem. If like once in a while you want a treat, have it, but most of the time follow a good diet.
O que ela tá falando é o seguinte, não quer dizer que a pessoa não vai nunca comer nem açúcar, um pedaço de torta, um bolo, entendeu? Ela tá falando que se você come bem, tem uma dieta boa e eventualmente você come alimentos de alto carboidrato, isso não vai fazer você ficar doente. O problema que ela fala é que o que acontece nos Estados Unidos é que as pessoas comem isso todos os dias. E nós também aqui no Brasil, né, minha gente? Vamos combinar, né? I told them that it's the same thing in Brazil. It's a regular, like eating pies, eating from a bakery, eating rolls, cinnamon rolls, and all the kind of rolls, like Brazilian people, we are addicted to bakeries. I don't know there in the US, but we are addicted. Like we change a whole meal for, a piece of cake.
I think the whole world is addicted at this point.
Because it's addictive.
Yeah.
It's addictive.
It is.
They are foods that are addictive.
Right.
Our brain loves dopamine, right?
Yeah.
But we can get dopamine from exercising, from having fun, watching a good movie, right? Eu tô falando para ela que isso é muito, né? Aqui no Brasil a gente ama uma padaria, né, minha gente? A gente ama uma padaria, a gente ama um pãozinho, a gente troca uma refeição inteirinha por um pedaço de bolo e acha que isso tá ok. Então eu tava explicando isso para ela. Amy, can you believe that we have only 8 minutes left? Oh my God! It went so fast, right?
Well, I mean, I wish we had more time, but with the translation, it's like half the time is, you know. But yeah, I think you're doing a fabulous job. You're incredible.
Thank you, thank you. I was so nervous. Jesus, I was so nervous because I didn't know if that was going to work, but I think this works better than the translation in the comments. I helped some friends here. For example, Fernanda, she brought Kenny Berry, the doctor.
Yeah.
She had a live here with him, and I helped to translate on the comments. My phone is too tiny, and I couldn't type fast enough.
I couldn't either.
So I called a whole group here. I have a lot of friends that know English very well. Cássia Miranda, Henrique Altran, Fernanda. They're here, even my husband, to translate. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a translation myself because I know what is from whatever.
Right.
So, you know, I think it was good. Thank you. I'm really happy. We have only more 7 minutes, but I like to finish like 5 minutes before because sometimes the Instagram just closed and I don't have the chance to download the video and to have it here.
Yeah, this will be available to people after, right? On your
and also, Amy, I'm going to upload to my YouTube channel.
Oh, great. Okay.
And I'll share with you.
Yeah.
Okay. And we can, if you would, I would love to have you here again.
Oh, sure.
It would be so nice. Yeah. It was very, very good. Thank you so much.
Tell them that I think you're an excellent translator.
Ela pediu para falar que ela acha que eu sou uma tradutora maravilhosa. Yay! Woo! Amei! I love doing this, and you have no idea. You remember Eventualmente, right? It was
amazing. I mean, we would have been completely lost without you. We really would have.
Ela tá dizendo que no Eventualmente eles teriam ficado perdidos sem mim. Era só ela, o Dr. Eric e o Luiz Villasenor, right? It was Luiz. And eu traduzi para eles. E ela disse que eles teriam ficado perdidinhos sem mim. Amy, thank you so much.
Do you know what I don't know if people can. I still have this from Eventualmente.
Oh, the tickets.
Is it backwards?
Nice. It's backwards. Conan, Janaína.
You remember her? Did you meet her?
Yeah, she was going to be here today, but she probably was working because she's a doctor.
Yeah,
she's an endocrinologist, and this time in Brazil they're still working. But she was very, very nice and kind to share with her followers.
Oh, good.
She has a lot of followers, and she's very how can I say, influent and low carb. Community in Brazil, and people love her. I love her. She's amazing.
Yeah,
but she's very busy. Yeah, but she's very busy, very, very busy. She's a busy bunny.
If we're gonna end soon, tell your audience that you know, they don't need to go to bakeries. Brazil is world famous for meat. For grilled meat.
Ela tá falando o seguinte, que a gente tem que parar de ir pra padaria, que o Brasil é conhecido mundialmente pelas melhores carnes. É isso aí, Amy. Very good.
Carne.
Very good. Thank you so much. I'm gonna have to finish now so I can download everything.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. Take care.
All right. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.